Greetings. Welcome to the Peace Place. I'm Judy Penman of Prayons and founder of the Peace Movement, where our agenda is to establish the deep peace of God within us that passes all understanding. Then take that type of being and peace as we engage in relationships with others, and ultimately that we bring the peace of God to the world. So this morning I bring you a prayer entitled Reconnecting to Love's Truth. Holy Spirit, we invite you into this place. We invite you to search our hearts and consume us for all ways that are in us unlike you. We're here to please you, God, not to please man. Remold and reshape us until that day we can walk in your image. Connecting to love's truth. Oh yes, there is a force with agreement out there sustaining all not of you. God, rise up with truth. Release strategies of what to do. We're so divided, supporting agendas through our terror. We call on you, oh God, and ask you to expose all destructive error. And as you do, forgive us each for our collaborative part. Draw us, reveal, and speak the strategic plan in your heart. For as we rely on the terror reactions of minds, not your will, chaos continues, divides and destroys as we hunger still for your plan. Help us hunger for your ways of love, provision, and restoration. Reveal to each our distractions and barely hidden plasticulation. We release as we grasp to bring sanity to all that's swirled. O God, pull back the veil, expose all darkness in our world. Forgive us, correct us, and heal us of our impotent ways. Renew our minds, heal our hearts, and turn our dark days, filled with lies long-lived, defending what we thought true. We now stand exposed, seeking man's ways, and seeing man's ways are not you. We've tried and exhausted our agendas and strategic plans. You have allowed us to see what we produce with our hands. You teach us as we admit and turn from our limited ways. You will step in, hear healing truth, and turn around our days. Yes, you are God. We are not. And in your wise way will you show each their role in your plan. As we seek you, we will know you and your presence as we learn to rest and abide. Holy God, draw us now, reveal your love, and inside, giving breath and hope. If we have not known the intimacy and the presence and the power of God from our beginning, then it's likely that some of our influential years of development, we learned much other than that. We learned how to survive. We learned how to find the approval of men. We learned what the rules are, and we learned how to get around the rules. So until we're touched by the hand of God and the heart of God, that we know God's ways and we see how amazing the results are when we follow God's ways, then what we're left with is the ways of the world. We don't have to continue to do that. God teaches us when we call on Him, He will answer us. Well, my experience is as I walked through, especially this last 8 years, when my cry out to God was, God, your word says this. This is the way we see us operating in the world, with few exceptions. And God, I wonder how it would be if we walked seeking you first and pleasing you, and then seeing your power and your provision and your fruit through us in the world today. So that was the cry of my heart in the beginning, because I was very clear that there was a love greater than the love that the way that I had used that word and learned and knew about. And God had done miracles in my life. And I was believing in my heart that that power of God was what it means to be filled, led with the Spirit, being a person with our steps ordered, knowing that we could abide in God's presence. So I began seeking those things because when I read in the Word about the Laodicean church being lukewarm, I thought, oh God, wherever that is in me, light a fire. Explode that flame into a torrent of your power and your love, just flowing through me according to your will and your way. So we can learn and we can reconnect to love's truth. We do not have to follow the ways of the world. I believe that deep inside, because we do have the spark of God in us, I believe that on some level we know that what we're now compromising and settling for is not all there is. So we can learn to allow God to distinguish, help us discern all that's not Him. And we can learn to walk as we hear His voice, His will, in His way, and let Him order our steps. God teaches us that we only know in part, and much of what we do know is in error. And so we just fight harder and push harder and get further and further from the peace of God. When we're operating in the peace of God that passes all understanding, we hear God's voice clearly when we call on Him. We can ask Him, what's the next step, Lord? What's the next step? And what's the next step? Now, it's not a familiar way for most, seeing that we have 40,000 thoughts or so a day. And we're very used to our survival mechanisms, but we don't have to do that. There's the love and the power and the truth that is there to lead and guide us and walk us through our days, help us discover the plan that God has for each of us, and we can follow that. We believe in the uniqueness and the purpose for each of our lives, and there is wisdom in learning what that plan and purpose is, and then especially being able to distinguish what's our understanding, what's God's understanding, and ask God to show us His ways and release our ways and the impotency of life. He teaches us that the flesh profits nothing. Well, I believe that's true, and I believe there's much that we do through our learned patterns that are very destructive and hinder and get in the way of us knowing and being healed by the power of love and then walking according to God's will and purpose for us. If you're interested in exploring more of not only who God is, but what His Word says for each of us in application every day, then you're welcome to subscribe here on our channel. You can tell others about us. You can find us at prayoms.com. That's PRAYOEMS.com. Look for the Peace Movement. It's the one where we're learning to establish, to walk in the peace that passes all understanding. I send you blessings today. I will pray for strength for you to follow the heart's cry that you have as you seek God, His wisdom, in His way. This is Judy signing off for today. Blessings to you.